Welcome back to another relaxing, easy to listen to episode of Easy Grind with me, Michael Gray, on the channel Game Double Tap. The game is Dawncaster. The expansion is Eclipse. The class is the Arcanists. We are in the middle of a game. The commentary is medium. Welcome back. Sit back, relax, let yourself sleep, nap, chill out. Enjoy your favorite hot beverage or cold beverage, and whatever time of the year you're listening to this playlist. Stay tuned at the end of this playlist for more information and for more continuations of more Easy Grind. Your support means a lot to me. Thank you so much. Hello everybody, welcome back to Easy Grind, the Arcanist on Dawncaster Eclipse expansion. We're just relaxing, having a little fun. It is about 6:56 in the morning here in Midtown Sacramento. Yes, it's already muggy and hot, and I thought I'd do a little bit of Words of Power while it's still active. This might be the final part of Words of Power. I think we've done 2 parts. This will be part 3. Just keep in mind, typically the weekly trials are only 1 week, so you've got to get in as much action as you can. Other things to keep in mind is that the weekly trials scoring is based on how much you follow their objectives. The more you follow their objectives, the higher your points will be, therefore the higher your Fate Shard rewards will be. Please check out the description of the objectives in the app. It is very, very accessible and easy to understand. We are down to 27 hit points on this particular Arcanist build. This is the Broken Wand Words of Power build. It is the first one. So there are 2 different builds that you can have, pre-mades. Basically, these are pre-mades. I haven't used that term in a long time. But these are pre-made builds, and the second build is Force Wind. So Force Wind uses a electrical spell power as a basic weapon, and this is a Crooked Wand build. This uses Crooked Wand, which swaps itself, which means it changes itself on successive turns, and it becomes a Charge Wand. And I don't know if it becomes anything else other than that. I've not survived long enough to find that out. But anyway, we'll try to finish this one out, and then we'll start. I think we will possibly go back and do this Crooked Wand build again, because it does have a potential to be very powerful if you get the right drops. Also, a big shout out to MyNoise. They are one of the wonderful supporters of this channel. Be wonderful to yourself and pick up the app yourself. Purchase the lifetime package. It is extremely inexpensive, and it is a must-have if you're a content creator. Again, none of those annoying pop-up ads and content creator banes, which are like warnings from YouTube about, using information that is copyrighted. With MyNoise, everything they offer you is something you can change and make it your own and use it for your content creation.
Show deck. Current player health 27. Show deck.
Definitely a partner to me and what I do here on Game Double Tap. All right.
Use weapon. Show deck. Current card. Cursed
Find
puzzle
out
box.
what's in our deck.
Swap the cost of the puzzle box with the card in hand. It becomes cursed. Cursed utility. Legendary. Treasure.
So
this card is part
I
of the
need to
treasure pool
have
and can be found through
22
various
to
events.
26 cards to get a bonus. So we are working on that. So I'm going to give you the super tip of today. Not a pro tip, super tip. Curse Puzzle Box is one of the most amazing items that you'll ever get. It's tricky at first because it looks like a big, giant, useless 4 neutral, or I guess it's neutral, mana cost item. Here's the thing though. See, Curse Puzzle Box has a secret. And the secret is that Curse Puzzle Box can swap its cost with any other card in your hand. Any other card. So Curse Puzzle Box swaps its cost with another card in your hand. Say for instance, you have Curse Puzzle Box and you have a Malignance. A Malignance is a non-playable card with a 0 cost. Well, that sounds pretty miserable, right? You've got a 4 cost card and a 0 cost card that can't be played. Well, you'd be wrong if you thought that this situation was bad. This situation is very good because we can activate Curse Puzzle Box and the screen will change into a submenu, which will allow you to say which card are you going to swap costs with. Choose the Malignance, which 0 cost. So Curse Puzzle Box will give its 4 cost to the Malignance, and the Malignance will give its 0 cost to the Curse Puzzle Box. Now, you got rid of that annoying 4 cost puzzle box, and your puzzle box now will cost 0 cost. That's part 1. You're saying, well, that's not very helpful. What do I do? The Curse Puzzle Box does nothing. But yes, it does. You again would be incorrect. Now your Curse Puzzle Box has a 0 cost, but it's still active in your deck. Part 2. Now, when you find a card in your deck that's very expensive, say, Tide card, or a really expensive Magic card, or a really expensive like melee card like a Maul or something like that, you can again wait for those 2 cards to be in your hand at the same time. Then you simply activate Curse Puzzle Box, and now Curse Puzzle Box will bring up that submenu again and say, which card do you want to swap my 0 cost with? Hey, you starting to get it? Wink, wink. Well, now you can choose the Maul with a 2 cost and swap it with the Puzzle Box of 0 cost. And now your Maul becomes 0 cost and your Puzzle Box becomes 2 cost. You don't care about the Puzzle Box because that's not a big deal. You can always just do something else with the Puzzle Box later on. You can convert it into something. It can't be removed from your deck because it's a cursed card, but it can be converted into something different. So now your Maul is 0 cost, so it's like a free card. And by the way, you can keep doing this. Part 3. Rinse and repeat. Locate another card that you don't care about, like a potion or something. Make your Curse Puzzle Box give it that 2 cost that you took from the Maul, and take that potion's 0 cost, because all potions for the most part are 0 cost. Then when you switch it over, you could still find a way to drink that potion because 2 cost is not very much. Just save up for it. Then your Curse Puzzle Box is back at 0 cost again. Go ahead and go back to step 1. Get me? See? So your Curse Puzzle Box, in effect, can turn every card in your deck into a 0 cost card. Basically, all of your weapons will be 0 cost. All of your magic will be 0 cost. You just have to buy a couple of occasional potions to get that 0 cost, and maybe even create yourself a couple of basically constructed cards, like when you make a card out of thin air. I can't remember the exact term. It's a little early in the morning for me, but it's not early for me. I'm usually up at 5:30 or 6, but for my brain to catch up, we're a little behind. Anyway, the beauty of Curse Puzzle Box is that it turns all of your cards in your deck to 0 cost. So if you have a very expensive card in your deck, turn it into a 0 cost. And keep doing that over and over again. It's really good if you're not on a weekly trial, because the weekly trial is not a situation where you have a lot of time to play around with that. But even on this run, I've actually done at least 3 or 4 conversions with the Cursed Puzzle Box. Again, I'm going to create a playlist of some of my absolute favorite, most amazing cards, broken cards. I'll have to work on it, but it'll be about what I just did here, the same format. I'll tell you how to use it, and I'll tell you what situations make those cards amazing. But yeah, that's the Cursed Puzzle Box, one of the lesser known magnificent cards in the game. Part 5, or part 4. Part 4, you may not remember this, but if you were a big fan of gore or fantasy or horror, you may remember a particular series. I think it's called Hell something. But it's a series that used to be a movie genre, horror gore, kind of like movie genre. I can't remember the exact name of the series. But basically, if you touch this puzzle box, it would convert into a gate to open hell. And then Penface would come out and a bunch of other really cringy, scary monsters from hell itself. And then the only way to put them back was to reassemble the puzzle box back into its original form, and it would suck them all back into hell. So I can't remember the series name, but that was one of my absolute favorite movie genres coming up. And again, it's long since been, from our politically correct world, great gory, movies have been kind of removed. We have this society where everybody is so afraid of being not considered politically correct that they're afraid to enjoy what they are legally allowed to enjoy. And they're afraid of showing people that they have a wicked side of them that likes stuff that's a little bit kind of different. And they're afraid of being judged. So a lot of the kind of stuff that is kind of cool, I remember when I was growing up, is gone. Now, mind you, there's a lot of reasons why being politically correct is advantageous for our society. And I'm not going to go into all that because this is not a political channel. But again, if you haven't, I will try to remember the name of that movie series, and I'll let y'all know about it. But it is that's where the Cursed Puzzle Box name comes from. And it's borrowed, in my opinion, and it's just very well borrowed. It's awesome. Again, it's a super cool card. I really hope one day that Rick Vanderwild, the developer of Dawncaster, reworks the sounds, and he adds a Rubik's Cube horror fiction kind of sound to the box. And I really hope he redoes the Cursed Puzzle Box, because it is actually one of the original Curse cards in the game. And I absolutely could not understand the card. It drove me crazy. I hated the card because it just got in my way. I couldn't figure out how to use it. And then one day, it dawned on me that when I activated the card, just because I was tired of it and just wanted to throw away for energy points, that it could swap its energy and again continue to swap. Because remember, Cursed Puzzle Box is not a one-time use card. It's legendary, so keep that in mind, which means it has a purpose. Whenever you run across a legendary card in Dawncaster, keep in mind it has a very awesome, if not nefarious, purpose. So if you keep working with the cards in Dawncaster, you will find ways to take advantage of every card in the game. So I hope you enjoyed this little mini super tip,
Cursed puzzle
you know,
box. Cling to
guide.
sanity. Int 1. Charged wand. Cling to sanity. Int 1. Remove a corruption from your deck. Then gain 5 health and cleanse an
And I
affliction
just wanted
utility.
to talk
Uncommon.
about it as you
Cleanse.
hear me
Removes an
play,
affliction.
and I wanted you to understand what I'm actually doing. All right. All right, Curse Some Sanity is an absolutely awesome card and works really well with this deck because it gets rid of my malignances and it gives me a 5 hit point cure and gets rid of one of the malignances, and it also cures a status
Cursed puzzle
effect.
box. Neutral 1.
I am
Cursed puzzle
ultimately
box.
trying
Swap
to
the cost of
turn
the
this
puzzle box
into a
with the card in
0
hand.
cost card.
It becomes cursed.
Now I
Cursed
want
puzzle box.
2 of these
Neutral
in my
1.
deck.
Swap the cost of the puzzle box with the
But
card in hand. Cursed
I'm
puzzle
going to
box.
have to wait till I
Swap the
find a
cost of the puzzle box
shrine
with the card in hand.
that
It
I
becomes
can
cursed.
copy it
Cursed
at, a
utility.
mirror shrine.
Cursed puzzle box. Neutral 1. Swap the cost of the puzzle box with the card in hand. To cling to sanity. Int 1. Remove a corruption from your deck. Then gain 5 health and cleanse an affliction utility.
I'm going
Uncommon.
to swap
Cleanse.
it if I
Removes an
can
affliction.
here.
Charged wand. Plus 2.
Oh,
Neutral
I
1.
can't
Steal 1
do it
health.
right now.
Charged wand. Plus 2. Neutral 1. Steal 1 health. Crooked wand. Crooked wand. The crooked wand. Dark power. Int 1. Dark power. First aid kit. Neutral 1. Conjure 2 bandages.
Let's see if I can do
Charges.
that.
1/1 utility. Common. Bandage. Crooked. Charged wand.
Okay, why am I not able to move anything here?
Neutral 1. Cling to sanity. Int 1. Remove a corruption from your deck. Then gain 5 health and cleanse an affliction utility.
Oh, I'm in my
Uncommon.
deck.
Cleanse.
Sorry.
Removes an affliction.
I was
Charged
in my
wand.
deck.
Plus 2. Neutral
Okay.
1. Steal 1
Let me
health.
let you hear my whole
Improved by the
deck.
potency of your afflictions. 0. Swap. Cursed magic. Common. Swap.
Okay.
This card changes into a different card when played.
Cling
Crooked
to
wand. Steal.
sanity
Damage 1 damage.
is-
Inflict a random affliction. Swap.
Charge wand is my weapon. So charge wand is the evolution of crooked wand, and it can heal you
Charged
for
wand.
quite a bit.
Plus a crooked wand. Plus
The
2.
most
Neutral
important
1.
thing to
Deal
keep
star
in
3 star
mind is
damage.
you have to
Inflict a random
survive
affliction.
long enough to
Swap.
get this
Cursed
weapon
magic.
powered
Common.
up.
Affliction.
Once
A negative
powered
effect
up,
such as
it
poison,
is
bleeding
an
or daze.
absolute
Swap.
monster,
This card changes into a
and
different
it will
card when
heal
played.
you for quite
Charged
a
wand.
bit.
Steal left brace. My status. Potency. Plus 1 right brace health. Improved by the potency of your afflictions. My status. Potency. Swap.
Okay, so Crooked Wand is your basic attack with the Crooked Wand Words of Power deck. You only get it on the first build, not the second build. On the second build, you get Force Wind. So what's so good about Crooked Wand is that it gives the enemy different status effects. Now, it doesn't seem as though it can give them very many different status effects, but that would be wrong. It actually can give them just about any status effect you can imagine. Weakness, vulnerability, burn, poison, bane. I do believe there's a couple more. But yeah, brittle. It could give them just about anything you can think of. Bleed. It's just very, very nice. The only issue is it doesn't do very many of these effects. So you're going to have to help the Crooked Wand alone.
Crooked wand.
So
Dark power.
having some way to increase
Draw 2
its
cards. Add a
tenacity
malignance to your deck utility.
is where
Common. Malignance. On draw.
the
Take 2 damage and gain 1
Witch's
anger.
card comes in. We're going to get to that soon. So this is a great card, this Dark Power card. It's very inexpensive, and even if you use it, it gives you back all of the resources used to use it, and then some, removes Frozen from you, draws some cards, but also puts something called a Malignance, which is a card that penalizes you with 2 hit point damage, but also rewards you with anger. And by the way, casters and melee can both use anger. So can ranged units. Anger is great. It's not great you take 2 damage, but you can get that health back with your charge wand. So what makes this card so good is that it feeds your deck malignances, which can be change, which your Witch's Cauldron, which you get in the second deck, and you can still get a lot of malignances. These malignances can also be upgraded, they can be changed, they can be played with. Just think of malignances as a raw ingredient, because as you know, in Eclipse, the new expansion, cooking has been added, and several other dark card kind of builds have been added to the deck. So dark cards got a huge boost in Eclipse, which is absolutely fantastic. If you want to know every card, there is a codex which you can easily read through. It has every card. It has filters, categories. It's absolutely amazing. I really want to thank the developer for adding it to the game. By the way, I do believe Dawncaster is the only card game that has a codex. I would encourage more developers to add codexes to their games, which would allow us to also slowly hear the cards, take notes, type them up, create notes in our notes, and stuff like that. So
Dark power.
again, the developer gets definitely a feather in their cap for creating such a wonderful
healing 2, health and remove all bleeding.
Basically system, or kind of like toolbox kind of thing. So, why is there a first aid kit in my deck? Typically, that's something a very early player will use because they think, oh, it heals twice, and it's also persistent. First aid kit is one of the first cards that you experience that has the effect called persistent, which means it doesn't go away when your deck in your hand is complete and when you end your turn. It will stay around and be around for the next turn, keeping in mind that you can only hold so many cards. The maximum cards you can hold is listed in your character sheet information. So if you have taken some talents that increase your hand size, this is a card that definitely benefits from that. So what I usually do is increase my hand size a couple of times, and then I can hold somewhere around 16 cards, which is fantastic if you're running a dragon deck. It's so broken. But yes, why do I keep first aid? Well, first of all, the reason why first aid is useful is because in Words of Power, you're given random debuffs like poison, bleed, weakness, all kinds of horrible things. Well, one of the worst debuffs you can get as a caster is bleed, because enemies are always physically hitting you, and you don't use a lot of armor. You're a squish. And if you are a squish, which means you are vulnerable to melee attacks, you're going to die really quickly, because every time an enemy hits you, it also does damage to you equal to your bleed. So if you have 5 bleed and you're hit with 5 damage, you'll take 5 damage plus another 5 damage from the bleed. That's 10 damage. You've effectively given your enemy a crit against you. You've got to be able to remove bleeds off of your caster as soon as possible. So keep at least 1 bandage around. Now, every time you get another bandage card, and it will recycle, go ahead and break it open. That's the only time it costs you energy. Energy and mana, I'm using them as interchangeable terminology. So interchangeable terms. So go ahead and keep a couple of bandages around, okay? Remember when you were a kid and your mom or dad or the person that cared for you would put a little band-aid on your owie? Well, that's what bandage is. It's when you have an owie, like a bleed, that you can take that bleed off. And also, the beauty of bandage is it removes all bleed, every stack. So if you have 100 stacks of bleed, which isn't really kind of like something comprehensible, but let's say you had 100 stacks of bleed. Well, bandage would remove all those stacks of bleed. So it's a great card to keep one on standby. It's persistent, so it stays there. Another really important thing I'll be talking about in a future video is how to build your persistent deck. Because if you haven't learned how to build persistent potions and persistent bandages in your deck and save your you-know-what cards, then you haven't learned how to really play Dawncaster. Because you've got to have a few cards on standby in case everything goes really, really wrong. Keep in mind, there is no way to perfectly protect yourself in Dawncaster. Every monster in this game is perfectly designed and balanced and will mess you up. You never know when a monster's going to get your number. And once that monster gets your number, the way their artificial intelligence is designed, they're going to keep cranking you until they put you down. So that's the beauty of Dawncaster. The monsters are exceptionally artificially intelligent, and they know how to kill you for the most part. Now, if your deck is so overpowered, then I would suggest that you move up the difficulty rating, because there are more rewards for higher difficulties. So if you're finding the game is super easy, I'm happy to tell you that there are several difficulty settings that you can adjust. Oh, you can make this game a nightmare. You'll have very bad dreams for many, many days. But yeah, you can make this game exceedingly difficult. Again, I'm a big fan of difficult games, as you all know. And I am very aware that when I drink coffee, I am bumping my mic. So I know some of you super, super dislike when I bump my mic. And I know it's annoying even to me. But again, for now, this is the setup we have until we get our stand-up mic on the desk. Once we get our stand-up mic on the desk, this bumping of the mic will go away. There's a reason why I bump my mic also, because I'm putting my coffee to the far right of my desk because I don't want it to spill on my equipment. As y'all remember, about 2 years ago, I basically destroyed all of my equipment with 1 cup of coffee. So a $1 cup of coffee killed off almost $400 of equipment. And it took me about 2 years to buy all that back. So, yeah, my coffee is where it belongs for a good reason, and I need it for my energy. So I'm a very big caffeine fan, and I've got to have my coffee. So, all right. Okay, so I've covered why first aid is extremely important and why you should always have at least 1 Band-Aid around. I've also talked about the fact that having persistent potions is very valuable. If you're going to run persistent potions, keep yourself at least 1 Panacea and 1 healing pot around. So the ideal setup would be Panacea, healing potion,
Malignance. Neutral
and
1.
bandage.
On draw. Take 2
Now
damage and gain
remember,
1 anger.
Panacea
Unplayable.
heals
Cursed
bleeds.
Common. Anger.
So
Increases the
use
damage
the
dealt by actions
bandage
by 1
on
per stack of anger.
bleeds.
On draw.
Use the
On draw effects
Panacea
trigger whenever the
on
card is drawn
other
from your deck.
ailments. Okay, let's go to the next card. Okay, so Malignance is a useless card at first glance. But what Malignance does is give you an anger, which is really useful. And the other thing that Malignance does is it's fodder for you to corrupt it, to convert it, to exchange it, to use your curse puzzle box on it. And like I said, once your curse puzzle box has swapped the 0 energy cost of Malignance, because by the way, the curse puzzle box does not care. It doesn't care what card you swap it with. Once you swap it, that Malignance is therefore useless. So don't waste your time with that Malignance. You can, of course, activate that Malignance and it will do absolutely nothing. Because Malignance is upon draw effect, which means upon draw, you take 2 damage and you gain 1 anger. Absolute. There's no way to change that. The only way to change that is to get rid of the Malignances. And by the way, you can't get rid of them because they are a cursed card, as far as I understand. I do believe there's some ways to remove them, but again, that isn't kind of what I'm going to go into right now, because that would require me to have pre-thought out how to do it. And I don't want to give you information that isn't accurate.
Crooked wand.
Okay, so just keep in mind the Malignances can be consumed and removed by other cards that we talked about earlier, as I talked about. We have that one card, this one. Okay, this card. Cling to Sanity. Cling to Sanity removes malignances. So run about 2 of these cards, and you'll get a bunch of health. You heal a bunch of status ailments.
Deal 3 damage. Gain INT if the target is burning.
It's
Firecast
really
magic.
fun.
Common.
It's
Burning.
like
At
you
the
have
end of the
your
turn,
own little
take 1 damage per
factory
stack of
built
burning.
into your deck.
Firecast. A card with Firecast is played and moved into the discard pile whenever it gets buried on your turn.
Searing Ray is a good card. It isn't obviously an optimal card for this deck. It's just a placeholder for me for now. But if you are running a fire deck, Searing Ray is your best friend. It's a great card. There's one of 7 fire cards that makes you a total fire mage, and you are basically a volcano. And they've even made fire decks even more viable in Eclipse, and I'll be playing a fire deck Arcanist soon. You're just going to shake your head how powerful it is. But Searing Ray isn't really part of my deck build for the most part, but it's just in my deck because before I die, I want to have 22 cards in my deck because I receive a substantial bonus.
At the start of the round, draw 1 additional card for every 6 stacks. Conjure creates a temporary card that is removed after combat.
Spellcraft is a really good card. It's 0 cost, so you don't have to do the cursed puzzle box swap. But what's great about this card is if you have focus, you get 2 cards. Now those cards are not necessarily free, but they're also good fodder for you to convert them and change them and cursed puzzle box swap them. So this is a must-have card. It's really fun to play with. And it's a magic card, so it really helps this deck because our special super weapon gives us healing for how many magic cards we have in our deck. So it's important to get this card. It's really good. This card is a lot more complex than it first appears. This card basically makes your status ailments more powerful, but it really comes into effect when your charge wand starts reaping tons of hit points from your enemies. It makes all of your charge wands so much more powerful, and it makes your crooked wands do so much more status effects. And if you run a deck with several of these witching hours, you'll have a very powerful deck. Ideally, you want to turn all your witching hours into 0 cost cards. By the way, there's another way to turn cards into 0 cost cards other than the cursed puzzle box trick. You can also take a talent which allows you to select 1 card in your deck and lower its cost to 0. Typically in a playthrough, you'll get that option once or twice, rarely twice. I don't think I've ever had it happen 3 times. But again, the talent, there's a lot of better talents to choose. So I would say if you really want to turn cards into 0 cost, if that's the way you're going, use the cursed puzzle box trick. Your talents are way too important to waste on lowering 1 card's cost to 0. For the most part, learning how to manage your energy is your first job to learn as a practitioner of Dawncaster, as a Dawncaster practitioner, I should say. Your first job is to learn how to manage your energy. Okay? That's your first job. You've got to learn how to do that. All right? So yes, Witching Hour is the most important card in this deck. I would say run 1, 2, 3 of these cards. Now I've run 6, and yes, my charge wands were doing redonkulous damage, but again, Witching Hour on its own isn't doing anything, so it does weaken and slow your deck. So don't go too wild with the Witching Hour. 2 to 3 is fine. If you really want to be silly, run 4, okay? And that's it.
Settings. Boss Garden Crimson Cannoneer, just hold still, will you?
So we're looking to add 2 more cards, and then we'll get the bonus and fate shards when we lose. So we'll see what we can do. All right? Okay, so we are really down low
Mini
on
boss
hit
matriarch
points.
Daisy runner up.
So
Enemy
at
aura.
this
And
point,
raid. Mini boss matriarch Daisy
taking
runner up
on
into the bright
the
Kennel
enemy
Club
we
dog
choose to
show.
take on is really going to be tricky. So again, that's the thing about being a squish. You lose hit points really rapidly. Absolutely no Daisy. Daisy will wreck you. You are not ready for Daisy, unless you are a very advanced player and you have unlocked in the pyramid a high tier of level for your Arcanist. My Arcanist, I think, is roughly somewhere between 30 and 35, level 30 and 35, but that's still not enough to consistently handle Daisy. Daisy has bleeds, and Daisy has really hard hits. She has Pen. She has Doom. She is just a nasty little mini boss. Now, I like to call mini bosses like Daisy maxi bosses. So they're mini bosses, yes. So they don't have the hit points that a main boss has, but they are maxed out and they will own you if you don't know what you're doing. Typically, melee classes can wreck her pretty quickly, so she isn't a real threat to them. The knight, the warrior, they can pretty much wipe her out. The rogue can handle her just fine. But if you're playing a squish, ooh, oh my goodness. And also the hunter, under certain circumstances, has no problem with her. Depends on your build, you know. But yeah, Daisy is nasty. And I've had a very sordid history with Daisy, and I don't like her at all. And she's absolutely a fantastic maxi boss. So let me know in the comments how many times you've lost into. I hope that Rick will put a counter for how many times you've lost to a boss. There are many games that tell you how many times you've lost to a boss. I'd love to have that put into the game of Dawncaster, because if that's the case, you're going to see I've lost to Daisy maybe a dozen times, you know. But that'd be a great update to Dawncaster.
Boss Garden breeds
They
a
have
fashionable
the
hat.
ability
Crimson
to know
Cannoneer
how
just
many
holds still.
times
Mini
you've
boss
lost to
matriarch
a
Daisy runner
certain
up into the bright
boss.
Kennel Club dog. Crimson Cannoneer just holds still.
All right, so what I'm trying to do here is fight one more battle, and then we're going to restart. We could take on the Crimson Cannoneer, but he's going to kill us because this deck is slow and it doesn't punch fast. So we could probably try to take on the last boss, and if we have anything left, we can go back and pick up some of these other
Use weapon power
guys.
familiar weapon activate to start next combat with the familiar of your
Let's try to
choice.
take on Boss Garvin. He's going to kill us, but at least his deck is slow and builds, okay? Now, our special is familiars. So familiars are really fun in this deck, and you have some of the best familiars as this particular
use weapon power familiar weapon activate. Select card.
Arcanist.
Raven familiar.
So
Neutral 1.
we get to
Activate any
choose
card
from
in your
3
deck on
different
top. 5
familiars,
durability.
all with their own
Equipment.
special
Common.
powers.
Durability. The number of
And
times equipment
my
can be
favorite
activated
is
before
the
it's depleted for
Pixie
the
or
remainder of
Fairy,
combat.
which
Unique.
does
You
a
can
lot
only
of
play one
cool
card with this name for
stuff,
combat.
you know?
All enchantments are unique. Snape familiar. Neutral 1. Activate to inflict 3 poison. Corrupted. Gain health for each affliction on your foe. 0. 3 durability. Equipment. Uncommon. Corrupted. You are corrupted if 5 or more corruptions are present in your deck. Hand and slash or discard pile. Durability. The number of times equipment can be activated before it's depleted for the remainder of combat. Unique. You can only play one card with this name for combat. All enchantments are unique. Fey familiar. Neutral 1. Activate to add a prank to your foe's deck. Gains 1 durability whenever you play a wand. 3 durability. Equipment. Rare. Durability. The number of times equipment can be activated before it's depleted for the remainder of combat. Unique. You can only play one card with this name for combat. All enchantments are unique.
Okay, so out of the 3 familiars, you can pretty much tell they all have specialized situations where they're going to be the best at. I like the Fey familiar because I can keep her indefinitely simply by recharging her durability with my crooked wand attacks, okay? So we're going to choose her. And she also has a couple of cheeky little things she can do to
Crimson
the enemy.
Cannoneer just Boss Garden breeds a fashionable hat sets him apart from the other. Enemy gains enraged enchantment. You gain 2 bleeding stacks. Enemy gains sanguine
Let's see if we can
enchantment.
beat
Enemy gains
Garden,
blood taxes
and no,
enchantment.
we don't
Your
have
turn.
any
You
really
gain 1 anger
special
stacks.
things where
You
we can
take 2
heal
damage.
ourselves up.
Charged wand. +2. Player health 20. Player health 25. Show deck. Current card. Player energy. End turn. Character in spellcraft. Charged
Okay,
wand.
we got a,
Spellcraft.
as you can
Conjure
notice,
a
the
magic action.
Malignants
Charged
already
wand.
popped us
Witching
for
hour.
2 damage,
Gain 1 potency.
but we also got
Increases
1
by 1
anger.
whenever. Crooked wand. +4. Neutral wand. Witching hour. Gain 1 potency. You gained 1 potency stacks. Crooked wand. +4. Neutral 1. Deal star 6 star Malignants. Int 1. On draw. Take 2 damage and gain 1 anger. Unplayable. Cursed. Corrupted. Player status. Bleeding. Stacks 2 when dealt damage. Take 1 additional damage per stack of bleeding. Then reduce bleeding stacks by 1.
So one of the important things I do is I like to check my status to know what exactly is affecting me. And also, how about that witching hours sound effect, the whispers? Ah, it's so beautiful. Again, the sound effects in Dawncaster are top notch. Let's see. So, and oh, you're gonna love the new sound effects in Eclipse. They're even more beautiful. So I am going to, oh, by the way, you can tell that my witching hour was converted to 0 cost. That was done with the cursed puzzle box trick. If you missed it, go back in the video. I go through exactly how to utilize it. Oh, I didn't mention how to find the cursed puzzle box. Usually you find it on the treasure zones where it says treasure or adventure or something like that. Those
status.
are where you
Stay
find
familiar.
the cursed
Stacks
puzzle
reactivate
box.
to add player status. Bleeding. Stacks 2 when dealt damage. Player status.
It's awesome.
Stay familiar.
Again,
Stacks reactivate to add
definitely
grant to
play
your
with
closed
that.
deck.
It's really
Gains
fun.
1 durability whenever you play
I'll
a
try
wand.
to separate those little special tutorials into their own videos. Okay. A prank,
Player status.
I have no idea
Stay
what
familiar.
it is,
Stacks
but
wasteful whimsy added to enemy
obviously
deck.
your opponent probably doesn't like it, so I just like to activate her effects every turn. When she gets down to about 1 durability, my wands will reset it. Wasteful whimsy. I don't know what it is, but it's probably not very good for them. In fact, I'm going to try to see what it did to them by checking the discarded cards. At the very bottom of the screen, there's a discarded pile information. It's a history, and you can kind of read exactly what particular cards your enemy played. Even cards that you placed in their deck can be read down there.
Spellcraft. Conjure a magic action. Crooked wand. +4. Neutral. Spellcraft. Conjure a magic action. If you have focus, conjure an additional 1. Magic action. Common. Malignants.
Okay, so that's the charge wand effect.
+4. Character
I did
info.
4 damage, I
Crooked
healed 2.
Malignant. Rimibind. Int 1. Deal star 4 star damage. Gain INT if the target is frozen. Magic frost conjuration. Uncommon. Malignants. Int 1. Crooked wand. +4. Malignants. Int 1. On draw. Take 2 damage. Rimibind. Int 1. Deal star 4 enemy takes 4 damage. Crooked wand. +4. Neutral 1. Deal. I don't have enough energy. Character in end turn. Enemy turn. You gained 1 bleeding stacks. Enemy playing cards. Lacerating repose. You take 4 damage. You take 3 damage. Sanguine strike. You take 5 damage. You take 2 damage. You gain 5 bleeding stacks. Enemy gained 1 anger stacks. Enemy heal 6. Your turn. You gained 1 anger stacks. You take 2 damage.
So now you know why I have a bandage, because I technically have about 8 bleeds on me right now. Which means if he hits me, I'm dead.
Swap the cost of the puzzle box with the card in
that's
hand.
why bandage is so important. And you have to use bandage in Words of Power.
Deal star 5 star
because everybody's trying to bleed you to death.
INT. Drop. Searing red. Malignant. Curse puzzle. Dark power. Crooked wand. +4. Neutral 1. Deal star 7 star damage. Inflict a random affliction. Swap. Cursed. Persistent. Dark cursed. Malignance. Searing ray. Int 1. Player enemy status. Enraged. Start of turn. Gain 1 anger. Press for detailed enemy information. Enemy name Garden Greaves. Enemy health 78. Settings.
Let's do the
Previously
pixie
played
first.
Cards. Malignance. On draw. Take 2 damage. Settings. Previously
I'm
played
gonna
card.
check and see if he
on draw.
got
Take 2
that.
damage and gain 1 anger. Previously played card. Sanguine strike.
I want to see if he got
Damage 5
that
damage.
whimsy
Inflict
card
1 bleeding
off
for
of
every
him.
damage dealt. Previously played card. Lacerating repose. Deal. Damage 4 damage. On hit. Interrupt. Previously played card. Rimibind. Deal. Damage 3 damage. Gain INT if the target is frozen. Previously played card. Spellcraft. Conjure a magic action. Previously played card. Crooked wand. Deal. Damage. Previously played card. Crooked wand. Deal. Damage 1 damage. Settings. Press for detailed enemy information. Enemy name guard and enemy stat. Player status. Fey familiar. Player status. Potent. Player status. Anger. Stacks 2 increases the damage dealt. Player status. Potency. Stacks 1. Enemy status. Enraged. Start
Okay, that's it.
Player status. Fey familiar. Stacks 3. Watchful whimsy added to enemy deck. Dark power. Player status. Fey familiar. Stacks 2 activate to add a crank to your foe's deck. Gains 1 durability when dark power. Int 1. Gain INT. Drought. Searing ray. Int 1. Malignance. Neutral 1.
Watchful whimsy. So
Neutral
it's a
1.
different
Dark
whimsy,
power. Int 1.
I think, each
Gain
time.
Crooked wand. Plus dark power. Int 1. Gain INT. Cursed puzzle box. Malignance added to your deck. You gained 1 anger stacks. You take 2 damage. Malignance. Neutral 1. On Searing ray. Int 1. Deal star 6 star damage. Dark power. Int 1. Gain INT. Draw 2 cards. Add a malignance to your deck. Action. Malignance. On draw. Take 2 damage. Dark
another
power.
anger,
Int 1.
but
Gain
we took 2 more damage.
Malignance. On draw. Malignance added to your deck. Cling to sanity. Bonus. Int 1. Remove a corruption from your deck. Then gain 5 health and cleanse an affliction. Action. Uncommon. Cleanse. Removes an affliction. Crooked player status. Anger. Stacks player status. Fey familiar. Stacks to activate crooked wand. Plus 2. Neutral 1.
There
Deal
it
star
is.
6 star damage. Player status. Fey familiar.
So
Stacks to
that's
activate
what
to
I
add player
needed.
status. Anger. Stacks 3. Player status.
Let's
Potency.
hope this
Stacks
gets
1.
rid of
Enemy
the
status.
bleed.
Enraged. Start of turn. Player status. Fey familiar. Stacks crooked wand. Plus 4. Neutral character info. Crooked wand. Cursed puzzle box. Neutral 1. Malignance. Neutral 1. On draw. Take 2 damage and gain 1 anger. Unplayable. Searing ray. Int 1. Deal malignance. Player health 9. Show deck. Current player energy. End turn. Character crooked wand. Plus 4. Neutral 1. Deal star 8 star damage. Inflict a random affliction. Swap. Cursed. Persistent. Enemy takes 8 damage. Enemy gained 1 burning stacks. Malignance. Neutral 1. Cursed puzzle box. Neutral 1. Swap. Malignance. Searing ray. Bonus. Int 1. Deal star 6 star damage. Gain INT. Malignant. Searing ray. Bonus. Int 1. Deal star 6 star damage. Malignance. On cling to sanity. Bonus. Int 1. Remove a corruption from your deck. You heal 5 health. Burnt malignance. Crooked wand. Plus 2. Neutral 1. Deal star 6 star damage. Crooked wand. Plus 2. Neutral 1. Deal star 6 star damage. Inflict a random affliction. Swap. Player status. Fey familiar. Crooked wand. Plus 2. Neutral 1. Deal star 6 star.
Okay,
Enemy takes 6
CCO
damage.
burned
Enemy gained 1
malignance.
vulnerable stacks. Cursed puzzle box. Malignance. Neutral. Searing ray. Bonus. Malignance. The crooked wand. Player status. Fey familiar. Stacks 4 activate to add a crank to your foe's deck. Gains 1 durability whenever you play a wand.
See, this time it calls vulnerable, which is really powerful.
Crooked wand. Plus 2. Neutral 1. Malignance. On draw. Take 2 damage and gain. Crooked wand. Plus 2. Neutral 1. Deal star 6 star damage. Enemy takes 7 damage. Enemy gained 1 delirious stacks.
And as you can hear, my Fey Familiar is back up to 4 stacks. And as you can also hear, my basic
Enter.
attacks are costing me
Player energy.
nothing. So I can
Enter.
overpower my
Character
enemy
in. Cursed
really
puzzle box.
quickly.
Neutral 1.
So
Malignance.
if you are going to
Neutral
play
1.
the
On
Cursed
draw.
Puzzle
Take 2
Box
damage.
deck,
Searing ray.
you're
Int
going to
1.
want to make
Deal
sure
star
you
6
do
star damage.
not
I don't
delete
have
any
enough
of your
energy.
basic
Malignance.
weapons because they're
On draw.
going to be
Player
your
status.
bread and
Fey
butter.
familiar. Stacks 5 activate to add a crank to your foe's deck. Gains 1 durability whenever you play a wand. Enemy press for detailed enemy information. Enemy name guard and Greaves. Enemy health 57. Enemy energy 0. Enemy hand. Attack. Curse. Enemy description of fashionable hat sets him apart from the other bandits. A cloaked figure with a white-brimmed hat obscuring most of
think
their
I am
face.
out
He stands in a
of
poised stance,
tricks
holding a sword
right
in one
now.
hand and a cane in the other. He wears elegant, dark clothing with gold accents and fur trim. His attire suggests a mix of nobility and practicality for combat. This individual appears to be a skilled swordsman with a mysterious air, possibly a vigilante or aristocratic warrior operating in the shadows.
Again, the description in Dawncaster is absolutely remarkable, beautiful. They did a fantastic job of the ambience, the aura, the kind of atmosphere of the game, you know? I feel like we have a sound, and I'm going to go ahead and close my windows, so I'll be right back. I'm going to refill my coffee, be right back. almost back. Just bio, turning my fan up and getting some more hot coffee. Getting some more Dawn coffee. I'm just about back. All right, let me do the promo. You're listening to another smooth, relaxing episode of Easy Grind here on Game Double Tap, the channel that describes everything for you. So sit back, relax, put on your Easy Grind sweatpants or pajamas, listen to my voice and feel refreshed, relaxed, sleepy. Feel free to take a nap. Thank you for coming. The commentary is medium. The game is Dawncaster. The developer's name is Rick Vanderwild. Please check out my description for more information. Thank you very much for coming. All right, we are back. I refreshed my coffee bio and turned my fan up because I tend to get a little sweaty when I drink hot coffee. It's summer, and I'm one of those people that drinks coffee all summer long. I like my Dawn coffee with a little spritz of 2% milk. Just a spritz. I don't like a lot of milk in my coffee. Just a spritz. All right. Well, we're surviving, and as you can see, the enemy's hit point pool is enormous. Like, it's a boss. So Daisy doesn't have as many hit points, but in my opinion, the way Daisy locks down my deck, I have very few options. Because Pin is a very powerful status effect. It can really destroy you. And Daisy's very capable of locking you down quickly. You know. So a true lockdown means you can't do anything. All you can do is end your turn.
Press for detail. Enemy status. Enemy status. Player status. Cursed puzzle box. Character.
It's
enter.
both
Player
amazing
energy.
to see them pull
Show
it
deck.
off
Player
and
14.
disappointing to lose, you know. All right, let's keep going. Let's check our hit
Show
points.
deck. Player energy. End turn. Player energy. Show deck. Current cards in deck. 5.
Okay, we got our health points up. We started off with 9, so we got our hit points up a little bit.
Player energy. End turn. Character in cursed puzzle box. Neutral 1. Malignance.
We have
Neutral
5
1.
cards
On draw.
left in our
Take 2
deck, so
damage
we'll
and
be
gain
able
1
to
anger.
pull
On
5
Searing
cards.
Ray.
So we got
Malignance.
one more,
Player status. Fey familiar.
one more
Stacks 5 activate to add a
card
friend to your
draw, and then
Watchful
we'll be
whimsy added to enemy deck.
recycling our deck.
Player status. Anger. Stacks 3 increases the damage. Player status. Potency.
I think we're out of
Stacks 1
energy,
affliction to inflict
so-
deal extra damage equal to enemy status. Enraged. Start of turn. Gain 1 anger.
Okay, I'm giving them another Watchful Whimsy. So, witching hour, you got to have more than one copy to really take advantage of it, because remember, you have to wait for your whole hand
Enemy
to
status.
be,
Player
your whole
status.
deck to be
Cursed puzzle
emptied,
box.
to have it
Malignance. Searing Ray.
reshuffled.
Int
So
1.
that's
Deal
why
malignant.
you
Cursed
have to
puzzle.
run
Character info.
more than
End
one
turn.
copy of Witching Hour to really amp it up quickly.
Enemy turn. You gain 3
And
bleeding
that's
stats.
usually
Enemy
how I
playing
do
cards.
really well.
Lacerating repose. You take 5 damage. You take 3 damage. Wasteful whimsy. Enemy takes 2 damage. Enemy gained 1 anger stacks. Your turn. End turn.
In our turn.
Player energy. Show deck. Player health 6. Show deck. Player energy. End turn. Character in Surge of Intellect. Charged wand. +2. Neutral 1. Steal 2 health. Improved by the potency of your afflictions. Cursed puzzle box.
So we took 8
Surge of Intellect.
damage. We should be
Gain
down to
cursed puzzle
6
box.
hit points.
Swap the cost of the puzzle box with the card in hand. It becomes cursed.
Yep.
Cursed. Artifact. Legendary. Treasure. This card is part of the treasure pool and can be found through
Let's
various
go
events.
ahead and
Unique.
use our...
You can only play one. Surge of Intellect. First Aid Kit. Neutral. Player status. Fey Familiar. Stacks 4 activate to add a prank to your foe's deck. First Aid. Player status. Fey Familiar. Stacks 4 activate to add a prank to... Watchful Whimsy added to enemy deck.
I got another 0-cost curse puzzle box.
First
so
Aid
we're
Kit.
going to use
Neutral
that.
1. Conjure 2 bandages. Charges. 1/1. Conjure.
Oh, we have a
bandage.
first aid kit. Perfect. Okay, we'll just keep adding those watchful whimsies.
Surge of Intellect. Gain INT and you gain 1
let's
focus
get
stats.
some bandages.
Curse puzzle box. Swap the cost of Surge of
And
Intellect.
that's what I'm
Gain
talking
INT and 1
about.
focus.
Keep those
Action.
bandages.
Common.
Use
Focus.
them
When you foretell,
sparingly.
reveal
Because
1 more card
remember,
for every
you've
3
got to
stats.
wait for your
At the
deck
start of
to
the
be
round,
reshuffled
draw 1
to get
additional
it
card for
back.
every 6 stat. Bandage. 1 use.
Let's
Gain
do
2 health and
that.
remove all bleeding. Persistent. Bandage. 1 use. Gain 2. You heal 2 health. Character
Oh,
info.
I made a mistake. I should
Charge
have...
wand. +2. Curse puzzle
I
box.
should have cursed
Swap
puzzle
Surge of
box to
Intellect.
bandage.
Gain INT. You gain 1 focus stacks. Player status. Fey Familiar. Stacks 3 activate to add. Player status. Anger. Stacks 3 increases the
Okay,
player
that
status.
sh-
Potency.
that should
Stacks
get
1
rid of
afflictions you
our
in. Player status.
bleeds.
Focus. Stacks 2 when you for enemy status. Enraged. Player status. Fey. Charged wand. +2. Neutral 1. Steal 2 health. Improved. Curse puzzle box. Swap the cost of the charged wand. +2. Neutral 1. Steal 2 health. Improved by the potency of your affliction. Curse puzzle box. Swap the cost of the... You gain curse puzzle box enchantment. Select card. Charged wand. +2. Neutral 1. Steal 2.
Okay,
Bandage.
we'll get some healing
1
from
use.
this.
Gain 2 health and remove all bleeding. Persistent. Player status. Fey. Bandage. 1 use. Gain charged wand.
Let's turn this
+2.
into a
Steal 2
0
health.
cost.
Improved by the potency of your... Enemy takes 4
do
damage.
that.
You heal 2 health. Character info. Bandage.
Now
1
that's a
use.
0
Gain
cost
player
wand.
status. Fey Familiar. Bandage. Character info. End turn.
See, that costs us no energy.
Character info. End turn.
Okay,
Player
we
energy.
can't
End
live
turn.
much longer, but as you can see, you can hold on.
Enemy turn. Enemy playing cards.
You can
Sanguine
hold on
strike.
quite a
You take
bit
7 damage.
if
You
you
gain 7
scrap,
bleeding
you
stats.
know?
Outlaw alchemy.
Again, we're gonna
Life
lose,
Drinker
but we'll
Venom.
go back
Enemy
and play
gains
it
Life
again.
Drinker Venom enchantment. Enemy takes 2 damage. Enemy gained 1 anger stacks. Your turn. You gained 1 anger stacks. You take 2 damage. Character info. Bandage. Character. End turn. Player energy. In. Show deck. Current cards. Player health 1. Show deck. Player energy. End turn. Character in. Bandage. 1 use. Gain 2 health and remove all. Witching hour.
Okay, we're
Gain
really
1
close to
potency.
death.
Increases by 1 whenever you play a cursed card. Charged wand. +2. Neutral 1. Steal 2 health. Improved by the malignance. On draw. Take
We
2.
got
Surge
1
of
hit
intellect.
point.
Gain INT and 1 malignant. Charged wand. +2. Neutral 1. Steal 2 health. Enemy takes 4 damage. You heal 2 health. Surge of intellect. You gained 1 focus stacks. Player status. Fey Familiar. Stacks 5 act. Watchful Whimsy added to enemy deck.
Let's see if we can suck up a little health.
Curse puzzle box. Neutral 1. Swap the cost
There
of the
we go.
malignance. On draw. Take 2 damage and gain 1. Curse puzzle box. Neutral 1. I have already played this unique card. Player health 3.
Oh, I didn't know its
Player
stacks
health
can
3.
go up beyond
Show deck.
4.
Current
That's
player
new.
energy. End turn. Player energy. In. 5. End turn. Character bandage. 1 use. Gain 2 health and
let's
remove all
curse
bleeding.
puzzle
Persistent.
box.
Witching hour. Gain 2 potency.
we can't play
You gained
it.
1 potency
Okay.
stacks. You gained 1 potency stacks. Malignance. On draw. Curse puzzle box. Neutral 1. The player status. Fey Familiar. Curse puzzle box. Malignance. Advantage. 1 use. Gain 2 health and remove all bleeding. Character info.
Oh, we should have used the witching hour first.
End turn. Character. Bandit. Malignance. On draw. Curse puzzle box. Neutral 1. Player status. Fey Familiar. Stacks 4. Player status. Anger. Stacks.
could
Player status.
heal with
Potency.
that bandage,
Stacks 3
but,
affliction. Bandage. 1 use.
it's not
Gain 2
gonna
health and
really
remove all bleeding.
save us, you know?
Persistent. Conjuration. Common. Cleanse. Removes an affliction. Persistent. Cards. Character info. End turn. Enemy turn. Enemy playing cards. Outlaw alchemy. Watchful Whimsy. You gained 1 evasion
Now,
stacks.
our charge wand is
Potion of
going to
Visions.
start healing us for a lot now. But
Sanguine
we just don't
Strike.
have
You
very
block the
much
damage.
health.
Outlaw alchemy. Watchful Whimsy. You gained 1 evasion stacks. Outlaw alchemy. Trial blood potion. Enemy gain 3 regenerate stacks. Holy water. Enemy heals 5. Enemy takes 4
Oh,
damage.
that's what it
Enemy gained 1 anger
does.
stacks. Your turn. You gained 1 anger stacks. You take 2 damage. You gained 1 anger stacks. You take 2 damage. You gain 16 Fatishirts. Defeat. Score submitted. Your score of 3,445 has been submitted.
Alexa, stop. Oh my god. I died. I took... That was so fun. That was so fun. So we now know what Watchful Whimsy does. It gives you an evasion. It's so sweet. And it's kind of like an interrupt, but not really. Okay. We could probably record one more We could probably start one more battle, maybe. But I think we had a successful try here. What I will do here is, I think we recorded for about an hour. What I think I will do is put this up on Sunday, show it off Sunday. And this will be part 3, so I can at least complete that series before this one runs out. I'm going to stop right here. Thank you all for coming. I appreciate you very much for coming to our basically either I think this is going to be on our Show It Off Sunday, Dawncaster, kind of like episodes. And I just want to thank you all very much for coming. Of course, this is also going to be on Easy Grind. And of course, as I always say on Easy Grind, stick around. There are many more episodes of Easy Grind on so many different series. You might even catch me snoozing. That's how it goes, right? I'm relaxed, you're relaxed, we're all relaxed. But yeah, that's going to be it. I think I will wrap it up right here. Thank you, MyNoise, for the sounds. Big shout out to Dawncaster. Big shout out to all the people who make things easy for me to do. iOS, VoiceOver, Apple. Those are the folks that make my life possible here as a content creator. I appreciate all of you. Thank you to Rick Vander Wild of Dawncaster for making all the accessibility. Your new expansion is marvelous. So if you haven't had a chance to, you can go ahead and buy the developer a cup of coffee. It's really, really inexpensive to support developers. And I want to support indie developers as much as I can, because what they do is make it possible for me to do what I do. So what they do goes hand in hand with what I do, as I take my job of entertaining you very seriously. So thank you very much, everybody. I appreciate you. Have a great rest of your day or sleep. Take care.